The weak and the strong. Anne and Beth, housewives and daughters. Anne is 35 years of age. She is the younger daughter of a couple we call Robert and Ruth. Her parents are millionaires. Mr. Jones owns and operates several businesses in the distribution industry. Mrs. Jones is a traditional housewife. She never completed college and has never been employed outside the home. She is, however, active in several noble causes in her community. When her children were young, she served on the PTA. Her daughter Anne is very candid about her relationship with her parents. It would be so easy to take money from my parents for the house, for private school tuition, but it always comes with strings. My sister Beth, aged 37, learned that. She does not need her own life. She has learned that the dole comes with a price. Do it mother's way. Anne understood the components of parental control equation early on. When she was first married, she and her husband sought employment out of town. She insulated herself from her parents' influence by putting more than 1,000 miles between herself and them. Anne gave up her own career after her second child was born, but unlike her sister Beth, Anne never accepted economic outpatient care from her parents. Anne became sensitive to the real cost of being on the dole by observing her sister's experience. According to Anne, Beth and her family lived in subsidized housing. Mr. and Mrs. Jones made a sizable down payment on Beth's home. They also doled out thousands of dollars to Beth each year for housing and other expenses. She receives 20,000 in cash from her parents every Christmas. Beth lives less than 2 miles from her parents. One of the proven ways that domineering parents control their adult children is living close to them. Anne reports there is some confusion about home ownership between Beth and her parents. It seems that Mother is always at best, invited or not, and Mother was more involved with the choice of Beth's home than Beth was. Beth married and became a mother before completing college. She and her husband lived with her parents for 3 years after they were married. This gave her husband an opportunity to complete college. Neither worked even part-time during this period. Beth's husband completed college and accepted an administrative position with a regional corporation. But after less than 2 years, his position was eliminated. He then accepted a position as a vice president of administration in his father in law's business. According to Ann, the vice president of administration was a newly titled position. This formal title was office manager. But as Ann explained, the job pays very well, and you should get a load of splendid fringe benefits packages. It is difficult under such conditions for Anne and her husband to develop much self confidence. Anne's parents, especially her father, do not show respect for Beth's husband. According to Anne, they always felt he was socially, economically, and intellectually Beth's inferior. They demonstrate much more respect for Anne's husband, who graduated with honors from prestigious college, earned a master's degree with distinction at the age of 24. Robert and Ruth constantly tell their friends and relations of the great accomplishment of our Ann's husband. Robert and Ruth rolled out the red carpet for Ann's future husband the first time he paid them a visit. They were impressed with his academic credentials, and reported that during this brief stay, Beth's husband, then a boarder with his in-laws, acted much like a waiter. Father-in-law Robert would direct his son-in-law to mix and serve drinks and snacks, for example. After several cocktails one evening, Robert referred to his son-in-law as a bozo. And Ed and her boo were shocked. This treatment felt this treatment left a lasting impression on the couple and pledged that she and her husband would never become bozos in their parents' eyes. To date, she has kept her pledge. This is the case even though Anne's parents pressure her unrelentingly to accept economic outpatient care. In contrast, Robert and Ruth regularly ask Beth's husband to do chores for them. They treat him more like a handyman and chauffeur than the man who married their older daughter. Why does Beth's husband tolerate this situation? Because he has been conditioned to. He and Beth have a high consumption lifestyle congruent with that of his in-laws. Yet their ability to sustain such a lifestyle is a function of their being controlled. Robert and Ruth have communicated a central message to Beth, not so much in words as in deeds. Beth, you and your husband are not capable of generating enough income on your own to maintain You're ascribed station in life. You are economically handicapped. You and your husband need our special brand of economic outpatient care, which is basically what to a degree, to a degree, um, what's been going on with me. I have been fighting diligently, relentlessly, tirelessly to try and provide and make things happen on my own. And the harder that I try to do those things, the harder that my family environment tries to pull me back in and say, well, we can do this for you. We can make this happen. And I know that my family can make it happen. I have a very good family, but I am determined to be able to stand on my own 2 feet and make things happen for me financially, for my future wife financially, and for any of those that the Lord places in my care financially. So I genuinely and consistently make things happen, or I just go without. If I'm hungry and I see that there is things to eat and I did not buy them or cook them, I'm disciplining myself in this environment. Don't eat that, because when you are on your own, you won't have those things there. So I'm just learning myself. I'm learning myself to be able to provide for myself. And when I buy some things, which isn't much, but when I buy a few groceries and I see that other people in my family are able to benefit from them, I don't say, hey, that's mine, or hey, you're welcome. I just kind of smile and I'm grateful that I was able to contribute. So, learning from millionaires, or this book, The Millionaire Next Door, not to accept handouts is one of the big things that I have been taking away. Do not accept handouts from your parents, um, because it makes you economically handicapped. And as I'm preparing, I'm saving, I'm budgeting, I'm giving, um, and a little bit of money here and there to spend. But a great example, and this is something I have to share. There was a girl who wanted me to go out with her tonight. We'll go over that another time.